For Inside Carolina, I'm Taylor Vippolis, and on Monday night, North Carolina is playing Kansas for the national championship. Here's a guy who knows a thing or two about winning a championship for North Carolina, Joel Berry. Joel, what has the past 24 hours been like for you? And even further than that, watching this North Carolina team on this run with that Final Four win against Duke yesterday.
It's a lot of emotions, nervousness, excitement, anxious. This is an exciting moment. Getting that win last night was amazing. Going into this game, it's the same thing. And it takes the emotion a little bit more up this time just because now you're competing for a national championship. So we got the rivalry thing out of the way, and now it's a national championship. You know, it'll be a great show. And it's just a great time right now.
What would you say your favorite Coach Davis memory is? Because I feel like everybody kind of has their own type of Coach Davis memories. Do you have one that kind of comes to mind?
Well, you know, Coach Davis is great. You know, at one point he was coaching the JV team, which I used to go watch their games all the time. So he's had that coaching, and you know, he's paid his dues. But the one thing that I remember is when we hugged each other when we won the national championship. I look at that picture all the time, and it's so special. And I hope he can have that experience tonight or tomorrow night with some of his players, just because it's an iconic moment. And that's the one that I remember. And he was just like, man, we did it. And we were very emotional. And yeah, that's still a time that I think about all the time.
When you played for North Carolina, you kind of had that dog mentality at the guard position. You kind of see that from somebody like Caleb Love, where he goes off for 22 points in the second half, and he kind of gets in one of those modes where it's give Caleb the ball and let him just get out of the way, everybody else. What have you kind of seen from Caleb Love as a former guard yourself that you really like about his game?
Just the development and the ability to hit big-time shots. And he's a killer. You know, he has that killer mentality. What's great about having Caleb as the point guard is they were able to move some responsibilities from him to where he can be the player that he can be, and that we know who he is. You know, he scores the ball, top player. When you look at it, he's one of the best to ever do it in the college game, because that's what he does. So I just see the development. It seems the game slowed down for him. And that's just, you know, that freshman and sophomore step. Everybody has that, and I think that's what's so great about him coming back. And now look at him. He has a chance to compete for a national championship.
That freshman to sophomore jump that you're talking about, when you played at North Carolina, Roy Williams gave you the tough little nut nickname, and he kind of bestowed that upon you. We're also kind of seeing that from RJ Davis this year. RJ's my guy, New Yorker through and through. What have you kind of liked about RJ's game as he's kind of moved into this role as the primary ball handler and the guy initiating the offense for Carolina?
Yeah, he's just a guy that keeps everything together. And the one thing that I saw last night and kind of reminded me of myself was he just hit big shots in those big moments where they needed momentum. You can kind of see the game getting away a little bit, and next thing you know, here comes RJ with a big-time shot. And I just think that speaks to him. He's another guy who's the development is there, and that's who you have to be. He's taking on the responsibilities of being the one with the ball in his hand, being the ball handler, and he's just been doing a great job. And you need that guy that's going to hold everything together, and he is that type of dude.
As a guy with Final Four experience, title game experience, most outstanding player from that 2017 national championship team in that Final Four, what do you think it's going to take for North Carolina to beat the Kansas Jayhawks?
Well, one, they got to put that win behind them that they just had. I know it was very emotional, a lot of emotion that went into it. But I think for them, they just have to embrace the moment. Kansas is a really good team, and you have to just be in the moment. You have to be in the now and realize what you're competing for. This is a chance to go down in history. When you walk into the Dean Dome and the first thing you do is you look up and you see the national championship banners. I think for them to be able to get one of those up there, they have to be ready to come out and stop Kansas in transition, being able to play that, you know, up to their speed. Carolina, we like to play fast, but Kansas does it at another level. So they have to be able to match that, match their energy, and just be ready to come out and honestly just play the way that they've been playing. I mean, they've been playing amazing. So just keep doing what they're doing and make sure that they're paying attention to personnel.
We'll see if North Carolina can do it, if North Carolina, this team can join Joel's team up in the rafters for North Carolina. That's going to be Monday night from the Superdome, North Carolina, Kansas Jayhawks. It doesn't get any bigger than this. Joel, always appreciate the time, man.
Yep, thanks for having me.